I have some weird action going on over here. So I'm going to try to repair that before I get any further. I'll take the shorter of the two of these and just kind of weave this in and out to pull up the stitches. Fortunately, this is going to be under the collar, so it shouldn't. If I do it right, you won't see it. There we go. How's that? And I can go back to doing my ribbing, which I'm almost done, so might as well sit and watch me. As I was doing, as I said, I'm just doing simple rib for the collar. And I did 8 rows versus the 6. That's what I like about your own making your sweater. You can adapt the pattern to how you want it to look. Pattern is only a guideline. That's how I look at it. Now that tail that I used to weave in those holes, I'll weave that in afterwards. I got a lot of ends to put in. Still see me? No, not really. There. Now you can see the last bits. Just give it a short tug, either with my fingers or the tool. Because I'm using baby weight sport yarn, so it's real easy to ravel. And again, I left the 2 out on the other end, so I'm leaving the 2 alone on this end. I'm going to do a crochet cast off, mainly because it's the one I like. Excuse me. Okay. Now to do a crochet cast off, I'll go in the first stitch, grab the yarn, and pull it down. Let me get you up a little bit more so you can see the whole thing. Get that into the center. Okay, I go into the stitch, into the next stitch, grab the yarn, and pull it down. A lot of times how I'll hold it, I'll wrap it in the pinky, and then weave it in the fingers. That way my finger can control the direction of the thread towards me to get out of the way, then up and down. Towards me to get out of the way, up, down. And I do that across. Now if you get a stubborn stitch that does not want to come off the needle, you can just pull it off the needle just by going, with that. Yeah, like you know what I did by doing this. Back behind the latch, pull it off the machine, and then back behind the latch, grab the thread and pull it through. Now there's another way I do it. Bring it all forward just a little bit. Just enough to give you some, oops, sorry about that. Yep, let it focus in. Okay, and then I wrap it around the work, across the needles, and then just kind of hold it underneath. Okay, so I push it through, grab the thread and pull it through, grab and pull. And it's easier if the working yarn stays on top of the needles. Now I don't have any weights on this and I want some. So I'm putting some on there. And I'm making sure all my needles are even. And I'm kind of letting go of the yarn as I pull it down because I don't want any tension on these, on this yarn that I'm pulling down, that main yarn. Oh, sorry about that. Hold on. There we go. There. Make sure you picked up the yarn. You really can't see that, can you? Let's see, come down. Get you in the middle. There we go. Pull it snug to work with it, and then I let up on the tension. And I just do that all the way across. Making sure you grab each thread. Make sure you grab each stitch, not the needle itself. And you don't want to split it like I just did. And stay on the top of the needles. Now on this end, I don't need a whole lot. So I'm not going to leave a very big tail. Now the pattern calls for a button band made separately and then attach it to the work. I'm thinking I'm just going to do a crocheted band down the front and just snip it and pull it through. Okay, now take your weights off. And if you're wondering why I'm on this little table, I've got a new machine that I have on my regular bed, and it takes up the whole thing. Okay, move these out of the way so you don't get jammed up on them. Let's back up a little, wrong direction. Okay. And here is the sweater so far. And I like that because you can either curl down if you want or just leave it up straight. And there's the sweater. Now I just have the band to do, which I think the way I want to do the band, I'm going to do like a horizontal? Yeah. I'm going to hang these back on here. And what we did to the front, to the collar, excuse me, we want to do to the front of it. Picking up where the collar is. Now these are not the same gauge. Rows are not the same gauge as stitches. So you have to work with, don't want that, hang on. You have to work with your stitch gauge, and it's usually about, you do 2, skip 1. So you hang 2 even, then you'll skip a stitch and hang 2 more. And just rehang these up on the machine. Now remember, one side is your button side, and this is little boys, and I always forget which is which, so I have to look at the pattern for that. Because I think it tells me, I'm not sure. But the button band itself is just, there's no holes in it, so that one's just easy to just pop in there. Then I can use that to decide where I'm gonna put the buttonholes. I'm going to have fun on this one because I only got 3 stitches left, and this is a baby bond, so I don't have very much. Okay, now let me see. I'm going to put my glasses on. Let's see what it says here. Button band. Using closed edge method, cast on for rib. Cast on 7 stitches. It does it vertical, only we don't want to do that. So on left, okay, left front for girls, right front for boys. So this is the right front. So this is the button band right here. The one, fortunately the one I hung up, so that worked out nicely. Now let me get the thread, which I've dropped. Excuse me. That's what I get for letting it go. Okay. Now, I'm going to have to be real careful at this end. I'm not going to be able to knit blindly. I'm going to have to hold my carriage because it will fall off if I'm not careful. Okay, so I have the thread going out the back side. Knit the first row slowly. Always slowly. Okay, and I want to hang weights, and since I am on the baby bond, I'm taking the carriage off. I don't feel like it falling and hitting my toes. Okay, so then we're going to hang a few weights here into the middle and into the middle. That should be enough. You have to decide how many buttons you want on this sweater. Okay, so now the button band, 7 stitches, so it's, I'm going to use the same, 8, I'm going to use 10, that should be enough. So we have 1, 2, 3. That did not stitch. So I moved the carriage and back. That's because I've only got a 2-stitch leeway at the end here. That's why I took the carriage off. And that's why I'm holding it the way I'm holding it. And I forgot how many I was stitching. Don't count the first one. 3. Okay. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 10. Okay. Now these are the ones that's going to hold the button. So I'm going to convert these to a 1x1 rib. Okay, so I go into the bottom one, ladder down, and ladder it back up, reforming the stitches to knit. As you're looking at the purl side, the inside. Okay, and work that all the way down, and I will be back for the cast off.